Chuck, just my luck. Ain't like Wilson, he ain't no cook. Praise God, he ain't like Talcott, 12-inch rod. Stick it to Imperious. Lay down the law, now Griff no state has seen better days, but I like to compete. So now, what can I say? Chuck, don't give a fuck if you're in the family. He'll show you love. Now, oh no, say it ain't so. Come on now, go. Don't take it slow. Hit us with the banjo. G. Chuck, just my luck. Ain't like Wilson, he ain't no cook. Praise God, he ain't like Talcott, 12-inch rod. Stick it to Imperious. Lay down the law, now Griff no state has seen better days, but I like to compete. So now, what can I say? Chuck, don't give a fuck if you're in the family. He'll show you love. Now, oh no, say it ain't so. Come on now, go. Don't take it slow. Hit us with the...
Welcome everybody to the show. I'll give a couple more minutes because I kind of started a little early apparently. But welcome everybody that's in. The subject tonight is I'm a crow eating humble pie. I am what I am and I ain't no more. But I can accept when it's time to eat humble pie. I'll drop the link here shortly. I'll give time for just a couple of people to move in here. Because sometimes I'm as stubborn as a bull. I can't see what's in front of my face sometimes. And it takes me a while before I realize that I stuck my foot right in it. Guilty as charged. And I'm not ashamed to say that. In fact, about a minute or two and I will go on camera and I will elaborate. I know how slow things are in this thing they call the internet on notifications and whatnot. I realize some people are still alive. Oh, I heard that, Dom. Well, I'm drinking, what am I drinking? I'm drinking Mountain Dew. It's the best I can do tonight. Because I had to lay off the coffee. It was getting too late. Otherwise, I'd be up all night. And after the howling and screaming I was doing a while ago, I don't want to do that no more. Whew, that wore me out. But anyway, I'm trying to see the clock here, and we'll take it for what it is. I turned the camera on. What about eating crow or eating humble pie? I've seen that I can get up on a righteous mountaintop. I can get up on a spiritual hilltop. I can get up on the mountaintop that says I'm right and you're wrong. And something was said earlier on the stream that something I'd been thinking of but had really reinforced it. Is I've worked with hundreds of alcoholics. And if I start coming at them or preaching at them from a mountaintop or the hilltop, whatever you want to call it, I'm of absolutely no use to that individual. And the minute I tell an individual, this is what you must do, this is what you have to do, I've lost connection with them. I have to share my story with them and make suggestions. If they take the suggestions, that's fine and dandy. If they don't, that's fine and dandy. And I have to be good with that. Because if I don't, I therefore become the problem, if that makes sense to anybody. Well, yeah. And I call it a serious mistake, Dom, because I worked too hard in this program to. Sorry, Cynthia, I forgot I had this going and didn't realize that. I didn't know you was going that long. I should have known better with you running that clip and inviting people there. And I do apologize for that, Miss Cynthia. But yeah, I have to eat the humble pie. Who am I to get on my perch and preach to anybody? Because that was the last thing I would listen to in my life, was somebody preaching at me, telling me what I needed to do. Fuck you, I do it my way. And that's a lesson I got to remember, even with dealing with people on this thing we call the panel verse. It's not my job to inflict my will upon them. Who the hell left me in charge? You know, who died and left me in charge? Nobody. And I have to remember that. Because like I said, I've worked with hundreds of people before, and I know what it's like if you get that holier than thou attitude with them in any regard. They will reject it. And that's not what I'm here to do. I'm trying to be a better person in my life. And to get caught up in that rut like that does them no good and does me no good. I hope this is making sense to folk, because I'm speaking from the heart. And the last thing I ever want to do to somebody is to hurt them. That's not my job. That's not my intent. And I can forget about some of that, especially when you get into some of these channels on this thing we call YouTube. We get caught up in the BS, and I'm guilty as charged. And I just want the best for everybody, not for me, for them. I can't predict, I can't dictate, I can't tell, I can't manage anybody else's life but my own. But if I'm telling other people how they should act or what they should do, I'm not doing it myself. I used to have an old saying, take my advice, I'm not using it. And that used to be my adage. Yeah, take my advice, because I damn sure ain't going to listen to my own advice. And that's not what I want. And it's not a perfect path. It's a progression. It's not the destination so much as it is the journey. And if I forget about the journey, somebody's going to get hurt, because that's what I used to do, is I would hurt people along the way to achieve my goal or destination, however you want to phrase it. And I gave that lifestyle up almost, what is this, the 30th or 20, whatever. I'd have to look. All I know is on 4/10, April 10th, it'll be 26 years for me. And I can't forget where I came from. And I'm trying to be humble here. I'm not trying to get a medal, because the damn sure don't have a chest to pin it upon. I'm a firm believer. If I'm moving forward, let me put my hand back and help somebody move forward with me. Because I lived in this shit. I lived in the gutter. I lived in the pit of despair. That's no place for anybody to have to live. And it's my job to reach behind me and try to pull somebody else up. I know it sounds like a lot of double speak coming from me, and like I said, it's too easy to get caught up in the minutia, in the BS of life. And that's how I used to live 26 years ago. And all it did was bring harm, pain, misery, not only to myself, but to those that I came into contact with. And I no longer want that because I was given a gift and I was given it freely. So I feel that it's my job, and I was taught that it's my job to give away freely what was given to me. And what was given to me was a brand new life. Call it weak-minded, call it weak will, call it what you will. But I needed something to gain a better understanding on how I'm supposed to live. And I am no better, I'm no worse than anybody else walking on this planet. But if I can help one person, then I've done something. You know, it's like what's that old saying they say? You know, pay it forward. I'm a firm believer in that. Because without it, I'd still be down there in that gutter. I'd be in that rut. I could be better than you. I could be smarter than you. I could be a lot of things that I wasn't. And I have to keep from putting myself on that plateau of greatness. Because I remember where I came from, and I don't want to go back there because it sucked. It sucked bad. And I'm not even reading chat yet. And hopefully somebody out there suffering that needs something that any of y'all got to give will find something that will lead them on a better path in life. Because besides the destination, it's the journey. Because there's a lot that can happen along the journey. And I laid more crap in that pathway than anybody can imagine. I'd pile shit up so high people had to climb through it to get near me. It's not like that anymore. And I don't want it to be that way anymore. I'm hoping this makes sense to somebody, makes sense to me. But my point is, I'm not perfect. I claim spiritual perfection. Spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. I know I'll never be perfect, and I don't want to become this thing of perfectionism. Because if I'm perfect, then I got no need to go on living. And I'm a firm believer that the day I quit learning is the day I die. And I don't ever want to be at that spot. I'm going to grab the link and drop it for anybody that might be interested. Give me just 1 second, please. All right. It should be showing up in chat. If anybody's interested, I'm done with the monologue. I'm done with the preaching. I'm done with the teaching because I am just a student of life. I still want to continue to be a student of life because I used to think that the minute that I think I knew everything was the minute I'd get myself in trouble. And anybody that wants to join, you're more than welcome to. There's kind of a thing that I promised to do earlier and almost forgot about till somebody reminded me about doing a show tonight. And I got nothing but an open heart for anybody. Because, like I said, I too remember what it was like, what it used to be like, what happened, and what I'm like now. And what you're getting now is 1,000 times better than what you would have got in the past. You wouldn't want the previous Chuck because when Chuck was fueled by the sauce, though always thought I was a happy-go-lucky good drunk, it turned out it wasn't necessarily that way. I was happy-go-lucky as long as things were going my way. And my way created so much disaster. I would sabotage myself every step of the way. And it doesn't have to be like that. I got to pass the link to somebody. Hold on one second. If I can get there. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm not the quickest. I'm not the smartest. I'm just doing the best that I can. And I'm not here to save souls. I'm not here to save lives. I'm just here to share my experience with somebody. And if somebody gets something out of it, great. If they don't, then pack it away and throw it in the river. It's not for you. But if you desire a better way of living, reach out to somebody because it does exist. There's people out there that can give you suggestions. Everybody's not out there dictating or mandating what life is about. Welcome, Dom.
Hey, Chuck, we're not here to save souls? When did that change?
Well, I'm not. I go out every now and then, Dom, to my half-acre pond, and I attempt to walk on water. But every time I try, I get wet, which reminds me that I am not the creator. If that makes any sense.
Well, as long as it makes sense to you. The analogy sometimes for walking on waters is about walking on one's emotions.
Yep, I can see that.
Because people struggle. A lot of, and even where you're just where at, it sounds like people struggle with their emotions when they take sides.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I found myself, that's why I kept muting, because I found myself getting caught up in that when I didn't want to be caught up in it. And I was allowing myself to become a victim to myself, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be indifferent in a conversation, it's like philosophizing. If a person's already picked a side, they're not really philosophizing.
No, it's I'm right, you're wrong, and that settles it.
That's right. Or their likes or dislikes, opposed to can you see it from different perspectives? This is where people. Go ahead, Chuck.
No, go ahead. I was just thinking to myself, sorry.
I was just going to say, like, that's why, when people talk about the concept of a beginner's mind, where you can actually reserve any ideals that you've had prior and then come into the conversation with a new perspective or new eyes. But you can't. If you already hate, or I don't think most people really hate, they just say the word usually, but if a person's slanted somewhere, it's like somebody that votes liberal. They're not really going to see it from other perspectives at that point. Hey, Linz.
Welcome, young lady.
Hello there.
Oh, audio is definitely working. Good job.
Good. Am I too loud?
No, you're fine.
Okay. I like the topic, so I thought I would join, but I don't want to disrupt what you've started.
You're fine.
Yeah, grab a fork or a spoon. We'll be cleaning up the humble pies later.
I've been served some humble pie too. So
I got the knife and I got the paper plate.
No Corral plates or something, so we can throw them around.
Oh no! These are paper, dude. Dixie paper plates. Okay. I'm cheap. Go ahead, Lindsay.
I just jumped in, so I was going to kind of add, but I kind of the I've been thinking about this topic too, and you and I talked about it a little bit today, and you said you would kind of touch on it in your show.
Yes.
It's a
And this is
it's
what I
a
was going to bring up earlier,
yeah.
but the subject completely changed.
Okay. All right. I'll wait then.
No. I'm talking about earlier today when I told you that when we was in the other show and the subject completely went sideways to something else. And I wasn't going to bring it up in the midst of that
You said
new,
something about everybody talking like they are higher above than the other people,
yes,
and kind of being like being in the teacher type of position where everybody else is lower than them, right?
right.
Righteousness.
But yeah, and that was what I was going to point out to them when they was trying to help the drunk individual that was on that panel. That you can make suggestions, but you cannot tell an alcoholic what to do because they will make excuses and do the exact opposite. And I only know this from working with hundreds of alcoholics. You got to meet them on their level and gain their confidence before you can even drop suggestions.
And they have to be ready.
Right. And sometimes just your story is enough to give them a little insight to themselves that makes them ready. Not always, but sometimes. Whereas if I come off preachy or a professor type and you're struggling already, that's the last thing you want is an authoritative figure telling you what to do.
Well, it makes you feel like shit and puts you in an inferior position, which turns you off to listening in the first place. I think it does.
Mm-hmm.
It did with me.
And that was my point. Yes, and that was my point I was trying to make earlier, but I couldn't get it out earlier at the other show.
I've noticed that a lot of us do that. I'm just going to include myself because I'm sure I've done this a time or another, but a huge turnoff to getting people to open up to you and to talk to you is to come at it from a didactic point of view, which is like you said, like the professor and the student. Look, I've mastered life. I know how to do things right. I know everything. You don't know anything. So just listen to me. And I'm not coming at you at a level of being equal. I'm talking at you and not to you. And to me, when I get that, I will name names. Paul. That's what Paul does that I can't stand, because until you, whoever you are, have it all together and you're perfect and without issues, I don't think any of us want to be lectured by you.
I think, guys, it depends on your upbringing. So if people understand, I'm pretty sure you guys understand muscle memory. So if you were guided as a child, there's a good chance as you get older, you're going to learn how to still be guided in those moments. But for most people, they've been kind of taught by default, either neglectfully or latchkey kind of mentality, or puppy mill mentality. So a lot of folks really haven't been taught how to be teachable. The schooling system fails us. Our parents fails us in a lot of areas.
Well, then that would include the teachers.
You can have teachings. Doesn't necessarily mean there's teachers, but a teaching. I could literally put my hands on the stove and people could say, you taught me something today, Dom. Yes, but I'm not your teacher. There's a big difference between teaching and teachers.
Yes, but I'm trying to say that sometimes the teacher needs teaching. And when they're not amenable to that, and instead they're over and above you, and only you need teaching, and only you have the problems. That's what I don't know if I'm getting that across. Okay.
It could be, Lindsay, but we're talking about humbleness. So if you find out somebody else is hoarding over top of you or trying to tell you what to do, you can always have that opportunity to say, well, I'm just going to humble myself. If that person feels as though they need to talk, let them talk.
I suppose.
And that's why I didn't interject during the previous show that we were discussing, because I felt I would have been inserting myself and trying to bring the conversation back to where it was when they had already switched topics. So I said, let me just sit here and bite my lip and keep my opinion to myself.
That's hard to do.
Well, it's like when you, Chuck, when you say it out loud, I know enough to say it out loud for myself. When you say, does it make sense to others? No, as long as it makes sense to you. You're on your side of the fence. That's the only person that it has to make sense to. But for some people, they'll make it sound like as though, well, I'm supposed to make sense of it. No, you're going to learn your own. Everybody has their own individual journey. Just because we're looking at with our eyes and we're hearing with our ears and we're touching things, those are just the senses, which is great to experience. But once you become aware that, can any of them be misled? Sure, they can.
And I tried to bring it up on the following show, and I was ridiculed for it. And I thought, that's fine. Y'all think what you want. I tried, and that's all I can do.
You say here can and will be used against you.
Fact.
Yeah, it's too bad, but that's the way it is when you have the balls to get up here and say something or admit something, whether it's necessarily good or bad and no in between. It can be taken 1,000 million bad ways and insulting ways. I notice that I take it the wrong way a lot and that other people do too. Like when you're trying to help them, and sometimes they resent you. And it goes the opposite way. You're accused of, the opposite of being
you're accused of interjecting yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're really not.
But should we be trying to help each other or share with each other? Because if a person truly has strong boundaries, nobody's going to move me from my boundaries. They can say whatever they want, but I said, I'm not moving from my boundaries. That will teach people that are you strong enough with your emotions or mental? It's usually the person that's trying to convince somebody else, well, you're revealing you don't have strong boundaries. What do you mean? Why would you be on my side of the fence? And who's protecting your house, your castle? Again, that's where most of us don't realize how much we've been indoctrinated. Once you start challenging the words that you use within thoughts, you'll realize then I can't really truly argue with somebody else because I really can't see it through their views. You can't. It's delusional at best. But for most people, just because they talk, they don't realize. When you're awake, you're not outside. You're looking at things outside, but you're still inside, whoever you are, whatever you are. But again, a lot of folks don't have that. They don't want that, Chuck. They want the same drama over and over again. They might think they're intellectual. I said, but no, you're still doing drama. I'm doing drama as I'm talking right now.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing pretty good.
How dare you?
I know.
How dare I? And I don't mind being a gesture. You want to cut off my head? No problem. Tell me when you're done. One thing with the king and queen, I'll rather do it privately. And then when I say the king and queen, I'm talking about my hemispheres at that point. I'll gladly rip a hole into me. So if anybody wants to do it with me, I'm thinking you're wasting a lot of energy. You should be better.
Oh, hell, I can do that the best of myself. I don't need no help.
You got it, Chuck, and I'm pretty sure, Lindsay, you got it too. But for a lot of folks, no. They think literally pointing fingers to somebody else. I'm like, so how does that serve you at that point? You want to
Look how much better I am than you.
Yeah. At that point, I'm thinking, okay, what are you going to pay me with? Attention, or are you going to pay me financially?
That's the thing I keep telling myself each day is my mind, not anybody else's. My mind has to be open to new ideas. Because if I slam my mind shut, then I'm not open to anything. I suppose I'll just go ahead and crawl in the corner and keel over. That's just the way I look at it. Because I used to live with a closed mind. I don't want to live that way no more. I try to have an open mind. If I'm right in my mind. But if there's a questionable area, I got to be receptive to new information. Otherwise, I'm not doing anybody, especially myself, any good if I close my mind off. I hope that sounded right.
you instill the word receptive. Go ahead, Swarston. Go ahead, Lindsay.
It's funner to be open-minded. I mean, at least you're considering something or looking at something in a different way. And if any of us were extremely closed-minded, we probably wouldn't be here in the first place.
Are
The
you
danger,
sure?
the danger sometimes with an open mind, it can be flooded. Chuck, you said a word that actually resonates with me, and I've used it, where a receptive mind. You're going to investigate it, but some people, like I said, when they're going to be open, especially when you've gone from the pendulum of being closed-minded or narrow-minded, there's many ways to have the mind, and then you become open-minded. It could be too extreme for some people. Opposed to, are you going to be receptive? Are you going to question whatever you're hearing? You can question the person that's speaking, but you should question it from within. That's why I use that caveat of, how does this serve me to hear this? How does this serve me whether or not the earth is flat or it's a globe, whether or not we went to the moon or not? How does that serve me? It doesn't, unless I'm looking at it from an entertainment point of view. And for most people, they want to be entertained. That's usually an indication that they're lost.
Right. Does it make a difference to me if we went to the moon or not? What effect does it have on me right now?
Now, if you're working for NASA, you're making financial gains from it. If you're a media person, you're getting financial gains from it. So some people play a role in all of that. Just people can't wrap their head and say, well, they're being misleading to other people. It's all participating in it. Whether or not people know it, they might be fueling war people by having a 401k. It's, again, we're all interconnected in some way. It's just people want to live like a John Travolta in a bubble boy. They want to live in a little bubble and they think, okay, my world's perfect. I'm like, okay, that's entertaining at best. But hey, let's say your world's perfect.
I wish.
You could, but then how would you live in a world with a bunch of humans that are probably showing that we're not perfect, or we're probably incomplete at that point?
Well, that's what I think too. That given the way our minds work, if we lived in a true utopia, I think we would go completely nuts. If we needed nothing, if we wanted nothing, I think our minds would turn to mush.
Well, we've had the extremities. We've had, people with their needs, and now we're filling all our wants / our lacks. So is it displacing us? Probably. That's why we're online. We're chit-chatting with each other. Philosophers used to do it, opposed to, I got to go and tend to my animals. I got to make sure I'm raising my crops. I got to make sure I built my shelter. We would be sending so much energy for our needs that we wouldn't have time to bicker online or, talk about the latest Kardashian event.
I don't talk about talk about the Kardashians.
Well, some of these
but I know what you mean.
Some of these online things are like the Kardashian at that point, Lindsay. And I don't mind being entertained.
True. I mean, there's a time and place for entertainment. There's no doubt about that, because without it, I think we would go nuts if we didn't have entertainment. But it's the form of entertainment that we ingest, which is fine, unless we make that entertainment a part of our life and we become the entertainment.
But it's so much, Chuck. Maybe I might even follow Rome. We have sports, we have pornography, you have what else? You have TV series, you have movies, you have online, even we have to have cat videos. That's all entertainment. Because our needs, for most of us, I can't say most of us, but for a majority of the people on the earth, most of us have had our needs fulfilled. And then we bitch and complain, not me per se, but people bitch and complain about big corporations. Well, who thinks bringing you all your needs? You go to the grocery store, you're telling who you're enslaved to. You're going to somebody's gas station, you're knowing exactly who you're being enslaved to. Who's giving us this online presence? Who's giving us YouTube? Who's giving us Wi-Fi? It's not us. We're using it, we're plugging and playing with it. But yet people
maybe not you, but I invented all that stuff.
Okay, you're an inventor, Chuck. I love it. You're an inventor. So you might be more perfect than any of us could ever be.
Hail, Chuck.
Yeah,
don't make my head swell up.
If you start thinking about all that stuff to that extent, and thinking about the utility of everything before you even say it or utilize it or go to a certain place or talk to someone, I think you would absolutely drive yourself crazy with anxiety. There's something to be said for the act of serendipity that's really refreshing, even with regret.
Do I sound crazy, Lindsay, then? Do I sound crazy?
No, I didn't. No one said crazy.
I'm injecting myself in that. I like to explore all those different ideas. I'm just very grounded.
No, but why would I say why would you say do I sound crazy?
I was just making a gist. If somebody was able to take
Yeah,
all that information,
I took it
I
as
was
a
being a little
jib.
pompous there by saying I might be that type of person, but I'm very grounded. I know my necessities, but I also like to entertain with my imagination. So, could somebody take in all that information? I would think so. That doesn't necessarily mean that could we understand
Then
them.
let me personalize it and say that would drive me nuts.
Probably it might.
And I'm already driven nuts by my own worry and anxiety, you know,
Yep.
Welcome to
rather
my club.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Welcome to our club, Lindsay. Because crazy is the way to go. Because I'd rather be crazy than a normie.
I would, I don't even know what normal is. I think people's craziness here, minus a few people that I probably shouldn't name because drama time, um, the way that you act may seem crazy to other people, but it actually has a certain amount of um, truth and coping and adaptation and intelligence behind it all, no matter how goofy or weird it looks to other people. Because no two people are dealing with the same exact minds, the same exact families, the same exact experiences. So if you can, did I make someone yawn? Damn it.
Sorry, that's me. That's me. I'm sorry. I
Damn
wore
it.
myself. I wore myself out today, and I apologize.
I'm wide awake, Lindsay. I'm wide awake, Lindsay. So don't work with me.
That's how I get value from people. And I mean, everyone's different, but that's how I can get value from somebody that a lot of people hate or kind of think is maybe a muckraker or somebody that's, I don't know, an outlier. You can always, you don't know what they've been through. You don't know how they grew up. You don't know the things they were told. You don't know what kind of brain chemistry you're even dealing with. So maybe it's bravo for each person, as fucked up as they are to other people. You're kind of pointing fingers back at yourself too. We're all a little fucked up. So at least here, when we share the space, maybe we can forgive other people for being fucked up and actually learn something from them too.
Well, as long as they learn to forgive themselves.
Oh,
As long as they learn to forgive themselves, because I don't get the impression a lot of people, even though there's some people, are really wanting to get to know other people. A
well,
lot of,
it's a catch-22 because if you do and you make yourself vulnerable and you speak the truth and you're up here saying, hey, I've got this problem or that one, you are chastised and put on the stake, and sometimes even your own friends use it against you. So I say it's pretty much an act of bravery, and fuck it, because if you can't be yourself, who are you going to be?
true.
Who are you going to be? Everybody else is already taken. And if you aren't liked because you said, I have this problem or this issue, or I said this or I said that, then you can't get anything from anybody. Okay, look, it's basically, the way I see it, is a matter of telling the truth or not. When you tell the truth, at least you're giving the other person the advantage of making an educated decision. You can lie to yourself, but when you tell the other person the truth, they have the opportunity to run, to reject you, to go some other way, to choose other people to hang out with, whatever it is. So you lost that one. Life goes on. So you have to build up a strong sense of self, or a strong sense of, like you said, boundaries, or
Yeah,
like, you know what, you're okay with being weird, or you're okay with being honest and imperfect. Otherwise, I don't know what this kind of site can do for you, except for maybe be solely entertainment and a place to put other people down and tell them to F off, which it has been kind of handy and entertaining in that way too.
that's a fallback mechanism for most people, because we have been bombarded with entertainment. So when a person like myself, I'm grounded and I understand about my boundaries. When I hear somebody, in this case, Lindsay, you're talking and you use the word truth. From my perspective, the other person that's hearing you, it's a story for me. So I get when people say the word, because for me, I don't even use the word, because I'd rather be more true than the truth, because I wouldn't even know what it is. But I know I have my own stories and how I perceived it. But when other people try to challenge you, I say, time out. You don't see it through my senses. I'm the kind of guy that will tell my buddies, and they know that. I'll tell them. I say, listen, I don't live in your vessel, so I'm going to say that out of sincerity. I don't give a shit about you. Your mother's never lived in there. Your brothers never lived there. Your wife's never lived there. You're living through the eye of the beholder concept, the Plato's cave ideal. Once a person becomes aware of it, I say, oh, so then we're just sharing with each other. Yes, let's get away from this, trying to have arguments with each other or try to prove points. It's kind of like live and let live, but it's unfortunately that's a tough sell for the animals. So when a person wants to communicate with each other, just share. Now, that's me talking now. For other people, they rather argue. I said, okay, so you've already come in with a preconceived notion. If a person comes into a discussion with their likes and dislikes, they might be sadly disappointed if they don't get what they're favoring. That's why when a person comes in with a neutral view and say, listen, I don't really care if you like or dislike what I have to say. I'm just going to share out loud. I want to feel safe enough that I can share openly and not feel as though I'm being judged. Now, for a lot of people, that's the only thing they know is to judge. I agree with you, Dom. Okay, that's a judgment.
It can be off-putting, too, to say to somebody, listen, Chuck, I don't care what you think of what I'm going to say. I don't care if you like it or you don't like it. Yeah. If I start out that way.
It can be. It can be, Lindsay. But at that point, they're revealing their emotions. For me, I'm just saying, for me, if I have a conversation with my buddies and say, listen, guys, are you looking for approval? And they say, well, yeah, okay, so from my end, I don't give approvals, but I'll still hear you. At that point, when they're saying it, I said, you're projecting at that point. You're looking for people to agree or disagree with you. That's of no interest to me because I'm not living in their vessel.
Well, you and I disagree a lot. And what you say that,
Lindsay, you say that.
Yeah. I disagree with you a lot sometimes. Mm-hmm. But it's simply because I see things in a different way.
Yes,
it's not because I think you're totally insane or anything like that.
But in my world, that's a given that you're going to see it differently than me, Lindsay. Never once did I ever tell you should think like me or feel like me.
No.
So at that point,
I used to do that.
Yeah. And that's how we learn. Once you learn, for whatever it is, there's other things I still got to learn, and I still do learn it.
But it's fun to explain why you think the way that you think when it's different than somebody, instead of just stopping the conversation by saying, I don't give a fuck what you think or if you like me or not. And instead of maybe being interested enough to delve into why the person has that perspective or what exactly did they mean by that, I think that would be more interesting.
I should have put a caveat on top of it, but I will still hear you. To me, respect is when I hear other people. Doesn't mean I have to agree or disagree. I just share that openly, so this way a person says, well, Dom, you don't agree with what I just said. I said, I never said it one way or the other.
Doesn't matter if you agree.
I guess. I think
go
ahead.
I used to play that game that either I had to agree with someone or they had to agree with me. And all I was doing was becoming somebody's court jester by doing that. Instead of being me, I either try to conform them to fill my need, or I would conform myself to fill their need. Therefore, I felt validated.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. And damn, she gone. Boom. We scared her off, Dom. She couldn't handle all the intellect.
No, she probably got to go somewhere. I was just about to type in the back. I'm going to take off in a bit too because I'm going to get some rest and I'm probably just going to hear you guys. So I hope so.
Well, I do appreciate you stopping by, though.
Always, Chuck. Chuck.
Always enjoy what you got to say.
And enjoy hearing what you have to say, Chuck. And
well, thank you.
Because I'm not here to judge you, Chuck. That's of no interest to me. But unfortunately, for a lot of people, that's what gives them. It's like, some people a sense of aliveness.
Sense of being, yeah.
And that's fine. As long as it's done somewhat, with respect and fairness, where other people, they want to win at any cost. I'm like, okay, but are you really going to win? And then why would you do it at any cost? But those are just my perceptions.
I'll agree with you. There I go. I got you.
I'll use other words like it resonates with me. I'm still playing the same game, Chuck. It's like when I'll joke with people and say, I'm still a believer. I believe in things. Whether people say, Dom, I don't believe in religion. I say, yeah, but I believe in Wi-Fi. I don't know how it came to be. I believe. Go ahead.
That's how I used to teach electricity to new students. And just to simplify it, I would say take a garden hose, and in fact I went and got a hose and ping pong balls. And I'm like, we're pushing these balls through this hose. You see how this works? One in, one out. And I would break it down that simple if I had to for a student because I didn't want to leave anybody behind. Because what good would it be for me to have all this knowledge if I couldn't share it?
Yeah, it's always good to have, if you're in a profession where you can have apprentices, especially if they ask a lot of questions, you learn a lot just as much as they do.
And sometimes you got to break it down simple. Sometimes they understand it right off the bat, no matter what the subject matter is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got preconceived notions in your head, us people have a tendency to put that self-defense roadblock up. How dare you question my preconceived notions?
Well, a lot of it's energy too. Like a lot of people don't realize how much energy they've taken up by being around their parents and their siblings. It's not always the spoken word; it's usually the energy around them. So I remember I used to have, even myself, trucks. I was an apprentice, had many electricians above me, and then I had many apprentices. I remember since a lot of them were guys, if not all of them were guys, I'd say to him, I said, "Do you play sports?" He goes, "Well, yeah." And they'll tell me whatever sport they play. I said, "Am I supposed to pass the ball where you're at or where you need to be?" That's the difference between somebody that's a little bit more efficient than somebody else. So they would learn, okay, so I'm going to show you what needs to be done. You try to figure it out the best you can unless you want to ask me how I would do it. This way I can learn different ways and they can learn different ways. And hopefully, even online, people can do the same thing. It shouldn't always be about me, especially on a public platform. It should be about others. But unfortunately, for a lot of people, it's always about them. Always, whether it's a public platform or a private platform.
That's a fact. We try to make up our self-worth, and this is my opinion only, but we try to make up our self-worth on external as opposed to internal, when it should be the other way around.
And hopefully eventually balance it.
Yes. And if I would have stayed like I was, I wouldn't have been fit for nobody. Because you wasn't telling me anything. I wasn't receptive to anything.
Well, I'm pretty sure the substance was probably misguiding you a little bit.
And I found myself doing that on Cynthia's show. And that's why I kept dropping out, because I was catching myself becoming what I didn't want to be.
Mm-hmm. True.
A self-righteous papa's ass know-it-all. I'm right, you're wrong, that settles it. And I didn't like the feeling of it.
But if you can catch it sooner than later, meaning that whether you catch it before you do it or you do it right after, you're learning. Think about when I say grounding, you understand this, Chuck, about electricity. You have positive and negative, and you have grounding. So when I hear people say, I only want to be positive, I used to joke with my buddies or friends. I'd say, listen, so how does a car work then? What do you mean? Well, you have positive and negative, and you have the car. It's grounded. That's part of the balancing act.
No, the car is not grounded.
Well, technically. But we understand, because even when you have like a grounding bar, is it really grounded?
Not necessarily.
No, you can still have energy traveling through it.
Well, the people that say you need to take your shoes off and go out and ground yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's an action. But if you're just taking your shoes off to put your feet in the grass, to me, there's a different form of grounding where you take that grounding to the internal side, not necessarily external. Am I making sense?
You are. The grounding as you're talking about grounding, tree hugging or grounding your foot on the ground. The body's being grounded. And then who we truly are indirectly are going to be grounded. It's kind of like if a person gets emotionally distraught or mentally distraught, eventually they're going to get their vessel to follow suit and vice versa. So grounding, does help the bottom of your soul or your feet. Unfortunately, we get
I agree.
Comforts.
Mm-hmm.
like I said, unfortunately, a lot of us get caught up in our comforts. So a lot of people wouldn't know how it is, or they'll use their intellect to say, well, if I walk barefooted, I might cut myself on the grass, or not a grass, but on some glass or whatever. I'm like, okay, so what about a dog and a cat? They don't got paws on, like little shoes, unless you wear it for the sole purpose. You know,
I rem- I remember there was this radio tower. I got called out one night when I was in the service. He called out to the site, so I go out there and I asked the fellow what's going on. And he says, well, every time I touch this tower, I'm getting shot. I said, well, let's go have a look. He said, no, no, no. Here, let me show you. And he done it like 3 times. And I'm going, I believed you the first time. You didn't even have to touch it. What in the world were you trying to prove to me? That you could electrocute yourself?
True.
But that was his way of proving his point to me. And I'm like, okay, there's better ways to prove that point.
Does it make sense to you, Chuck? Well, I'm not the one my senses that are being bombarded with electricity, but hey, I guess if it works for you.
I guess some people need that to get a rude awakening, you know?
There's that.
They get a charge out of it.
There's that. Most of us have that inner child. So when they're trying to prove it as an adult to another adult, they're really trying to prove it to somebody else, whether it's a parent or somebody else when they're younger. And it's kind of like, okay, it doesn't work for me, but it sounds like it works for you, kind of ideal. But again, we have to factor in things too. Like we have 4 different blood types, actually positive and negative. So we got to factor in that some people will be affected more with, like static than others. Think about, when we were younger, Chuck, and I don't know about you, but you put your hands near the radio, the reception would be more clear. What energies, what energy are we giving to that thing or being used as?
Exactly. It's like the old television antenna, radio antenna. I can remember them days.
And we're probably doing the same thing when we're online with each other. Like you were just saying earlier, you got a little rowdy, when you were hearing. I got the sense that you were hearing a side that there was no flexibility from other people you were hearing, and so you felt, okay, well, I have to make my point a little bit more spoken.
Yes. Yes. And who says I'm right? I don't know. Why am I arguing this? Makes no sense in my brain. So I have to back off and regroup.
Yeah, because what I got out of it, I don't want to overemphasize on it, but what I got out of it, if we're going to allow those kind of behaviors, regardless if there's laws or policies, how would anarchy look like for women and children if we don't have police officers or you have citizens that say, I just don't agree with it? Well, then why do you drive a car then? Like, to me, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I was going to say, if somebody doesn't agree with the system, regardless of if it's set up incorrectly or healthy, whatever, if you don't like it, leave. Go take your chance with nature. Leave civilization. Leave your car here. Leave your running shoes here. Go over there. It sounds like a whole bunch of people being spoiled and not realizing, unless you're going to play the part of both characters, in this case, the woman that was in the car and the police officer, can you truly see it from a neutral position?
And that's what I lost sight of. And that's why I backed off.
Mm-hmm. Now, if a person openly admits he doesn't like cops, then you can't be in the equation then in the conversation.
And I'll admit, I went into that conversation with a bias already.
Mm-hmm.
Because a certain individual had labeled me something that I know that I'm not, but I had to prove my point, which was nothing.
Mm-hmm. And it brought you to this topic that you were talking about, humble pie.
Oh, this topic came up way earlier today. Okay. Yes.
But that was another example. How humble can we be to say, something? That's their person's view. Do I really need to share my view? Not really. And if I do, how about I share many different views? Because
is my view that important?
Probably not. Not in a bigger picture. No. Maybe to the individual, yes. But nobody's an island by themselves, are they?
That's just something, that title been floating around in my head a few days and realized I'd been stepping in cow patties for a while now and just now taking a step back and realizing that I'm stepping in a cow patty when I didn't have to. And if anybody's ever been around bulls or cows, you know where to walk. But if you forget, you'll step right in one. And to me, that's being aware of yourself, of your limitations as a being on this earth.
Yeah, the awareness part is the part that people hope that a lot of us will struggle with. And once you become aware of it, it's like, oh, you get that moment, and it's like, oh, so then what was I doing prior to all of that? You were full of shit, Tom. Still,
and I break it down. Do I breathe? Do you breathe?
Yep.
I don't breathe no different than you, which tells me I'm no superior being because we both live by the same standard: food, air, water. Mm-hmm. We all got to have the basics.
The food and water could be a little bit different, but the air, last time I remember, is we all have, if we're living beings, even the animals and the trees need the same kind. Even fire needs air.
But I will attest that you cannot breathe anhydrous ammonia. I tried that once. It didn't work out real well.
You're kinky that way, are you, Chuck?
Oh, damn near killed me.
Or what about asbestos?
Well, I used to work around a bunch of that. Got my brother. What do they call that? Mesothelioma? I think is what they call it, asbestos poisoning of the lung. Yeah. It's not a pretty guy.
Well, Chuck, I'm going to drop back. I'll probably hear you from chat. I hope somebody else comes up and interacts with you, Chuck.
Me too.
Have a beautiful night, bud.
Thank you, Dom. I appreciate it.
Ciao, Chuck.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anybody and everybody's welcome to come up. It's not a closed panel. I'm not prejudiced. I let anybody up. But anybody got anything to say on the subject matter? Question, concerns? Because I know for me, you got to be humble enough to step in that thing we call humble pie. And when it gets served to us, if someone gives it to us, we're not so much, we'll eat it ourselves. But if we figure out there's a piece of humble pie, I need to digest it, then we tend to take it a little bit better. Yeah, I know, Lindsay. I don't know where everybody is. People were wanting me to go live, so I went live, and they all disappeared. I don't know where they went. Maybe someone else went live. But that's okay. I'll stick around for a little bit. And nobody wants to end up with egg on their face. But sometimes that's what we need. We got to see it for the lesson that it is. Did we have any part to play in getting that egg on our face? Are we too blind to step out of the way of the egg coming at us? I know, Lindsay, everybody left. Nobody loves us no more. And maybe the subject matter wasn't their cup of tea, which it may not be. Life on life's terms is hard sometimes. It's easier to escape and be somebody we're not. And that's what I used to do when I was drinking. I could become anything I wanted to be under the influence, but it was not who I really was. I was being a fake, a fraud, and a phony, and too afraid to see me for what I was. When I had nothing to hide from because I was just fine the way I was. Okay, Lindsay, we'll see you when you get back. Don't take too long. Otherwise, some of us might drown. But yeah, seeing what that humble pie is not exactly the easiest thing to do. And sometimes it takes a while before we recognize that we have to swallow our pride, get our pride, our false pride out of the way, and be willing to admit, oops, I overstepped, I overstated, I overdid. That's for anybody, you know. And then once you realize that, you can try to work on the situation. Because no one wants to go through this life getting stepped on or being that person that they have to be an animated puppet for somebody else. Just being able to be ourselves is a miracle in itself, in my book. Lies can get you qualified, truth can be disqualified. Okay. Humble river, humbling river. Especially when you're swimming against the current, you realize how humble you get real fast. You learn that that current is more powerful than you are. And then you succumb to the current. And hopefully there's not an undertow. Because that will pull us over. You know, and I felt like a dick earlier when I was at Miss Cynthia's. That I was yelling in my headset. For what reason? All it did is it pissed my wife off. It pissed my son off. And they're like, what the hell are you yelling at? And I'm thinking about it. I'm going, I'm yelling to prove a point. Okay. And who exactly is that benefiting? Is that benefiting me or is that benefiting them? God, I hate it when I get tired. I can't talk. But yeah, I had to take a step back and look at myself. 2 or 3 times I had to back off from the conversation because I was looking at my emotions that I had the right to take over. And there's a place and a time for it, but that's being online is not exactly the place or the time in my book. And the thing I try to remember is none of these people on this thing we call YouTube do I have to sleep with. When I go to bed, they're not in my bed. The other thing I try to do, a little trick I was taught when I used to have to do public speaking, was think about everybody sitting out there in their underwear with no clothes on. It kind of levels the playing field. I know I got some strange analogies, but hey, they are what they are. But they work for me, and that's what matters. Because while I'm working on me, that means I'm a better person, which means I'm going to be a better person than somebody else. Sometimes y'all are in my bed when I watch from my smart TV. There's a scary thought. You need to take the TV out of the bed, Jeff. Is this Jeff from Kentucky? Just a thought. Jeff and his dogs. Why do I know this name? Oh, I thought I recognized the sarcasm. How you doing? I hope you're doing good. I hope the missus is good, and I hope the dogs are good. I might be old, but I still didn't you used to go by a different name, if I remember right. You were single, then you end up getting a woman, if memory serves me right. You was working the land. Okay, got that. Chopper Jeff. That's it. That's it. I recognized the person. I just couldn't think of the original name. A long time no see, buddy. I hope you're doing good. Oh Lord, have mercy. Sorry to hear that, son. She stepped in the cow patty, didn't she? But I hope you're doing good otherwise. Yeah, life is a funny thing. People wanted me to go live, but yet they didn't show up, so I don't know what to think about them. I'm just trying to fill it in as I can go. Anybody got any questions, comments, concerns? Well, cool. I'm glad to hear that, Jeff. You were always one of my favorite people because I don't think you ever said an ill word about anybody that I can remember. And I don't know if it's true or not. If anyone out there knows or knew, no, Mike Cerrone. I heard some bad news. I don't know if it's true or not, so I'm just waiting for confirmation before I say anything. There's a lot of bullshit going around, and I don't like to rely on bullshit. Oh, you got facts, I'm listening. Yeah, Jeff, I got banned for the second time from Gen X Jeff for associating with the wrong party. I was guilt by association, so I didn't push the issue. Each person's got their own. I'm trying to read the message here. Some videos popped up in my head about his civil case. Well, somebody was saying he died, but I don't have that for fact. And until I get further word, I just thought somebody might have knew of him. Not that I was a real good friend of his, but I tried to be social to everybody, even though they didn't return it. I still tried to be polite and social because that's the way I would want to be treated in life. And like I said, I'm not far away from being perfect in that category because I can still shit on the best people, the best persons, the best whatever that comes around me. If I get caught up in my shit too much, I can take it out on others. And I try to avoid that anymore because it just leads to heartache and headache. Yeah, he used to do, Long Cow. He used to be on Gen X Jess for a while. They were real good friends for a while, I thought. But I'm only going by some recent things that were said. Most of it's behind the scenes shit being said. But people that do come here are crazy. I mean, who else gets on a freaking live show and opens up about their life or about their fights or their fantasies? I can remember before this crap, that would have people would have never even they would have thought you was plumb crazy back in the day. I know I'm showing my age. Because I can remember when people were learning how to text on a BlackBerry, and they thought it was the dumbest thing ever invented. Why do you want to text when you can call? Well, nowadays it's the other way around. Why do you call when you can text? It befuddles me and my daughter go round and round about that. If I got something to say, I'm going to talk to you. This fat finger guy trying to type on his little bitty keyboard, screw that. Plus, the meaning gets lost when you're trying to do that. I find that happens a lot, even in regular chat. Somebody will type something and gets misconstrued and taken another way when that's not the way that it was meant. Then there's a big old fight. And because I'm fighting with Joe Blow, I'm supposed to argue with Sam and Frank over here because they don't agree with Joe Blow and they're friends with Frank. It gets hard to keep track of sometimes. Oh, I bet, Jeff. Stew? Oh, I can stew on anything. And for you young folks, stew means waddling in your own shit. It's contriving our own answers without any input from anybody else because we're right, they're wrong, and that's all there is to it. Life is crazy. It's what we make of it. That's one thing I've learned. And I can sit here and I can whine. What's up, Sinte? I can sit here and whine and complain and tell you all the woes of my life, the misery that I'm living in, and how bad I got it, and poor Chuck, the poor fella. Well, what good does that do, y'all? For me to waller in my own self-pity? It does none. It does better if I try to be uplifting to other people. Maybe help them out of a bad spot, out of a rut, out of a ditch, out of that thing we call the pit of misery, the pit of despair. Like I said, I lived there. I don't want to go back to that place anymore. It's no fun, especially when you're by yourself, because you're digging that pit, and after a while you realize, hey, there's no one else down here but me. But yet the hole keeps getting deeper and deeper, and then it springs upon you one day. Put the shovel down, dumbass, and start building a ladder, or look for a ladder that somebody stretches down to you to help your ass out. And be thankful for the help that you get. And that's what it was for me. It was somebody reaching down for me to help me out of the pit. They couldn't fix me. They couldn't make things right. All they could do is give me some suggestions and show me how to turn my own life around. But I had to be open to them suggestions. And without it, I wouldn't be here online like this. I'd be the biggest asshole you ever saw. I'd be ripping each and every one of y'all to shreds, some form or fashion. Because it's been, like I said, 26 years, but I still remember how to do it. Because if you felt like shit, I would feel better. Lindsay, I don't care if you change the subject or not. I'm open to any conversation. Because I'm about to talk this one into the ground. I'm sure people are tired of hearing about it. Oh, you remember old Chopper Jeff. That's cool. But yeah, I'm open to anything. I just figured people needed a place to go on a Saturday night where they wasn't going to get attacked and berated and belittled and befuddled. there's plenty of that out there if you want to find it. Pardon me. But I am glad you're doing good, Jeff. Hadn't seen you around in a while. Unless you got that other alias, which didn't even dawn on me. I'd forgot about that one. Well, nobody wants to come up and discuss anything. It's an open panel. Talk about anything you want. Otherwise, I'm going to shut it down because I'll talk myself till I'm plumb silly. And I won't be doing anybody any good by doing that. I'll drop the link. Maybe. I can figure out how to do it. There we go. But yeah, if anybody got anything they want to talk about, yeah, it took me a while, Jeff, but like I said, I got tired of being part of the negativity or the go nowhere or the what have you. And I'm thinking, maybe people want something positive. I don't know. I'll give it a try and see what happens. I am not no rocket scientist, even though they used to try to claim I was. I might have a degree or two, but rocket science was not one of them. But yeah, anybody got anything they want to talk about? Yep, it's a good distraction at times, Jeff. But then if you get yourself caught up in it, it's going to eat your lunch eventually. Because I'm definitely a firm believer that negativity brings on more negativity. And if you don't balance it with some sort of positive stuff, you're going to end up in the negativity all the time. And I had just got tired of being negative. And I could feel myself being drained from it. So I thought, well, why not try this and see what happens? A couple of these shows have been pretty good. Hell, there was one night a while back, I got like 150 people in here and had some big names coming in that I would have never thought I would have saw over here. Welcome back, Miss Lindsay.
Well, no one else is going to get up here, so I might as well. But
I'm
check
telling
out.
you.
I know. If your room starts to die again, we know why.
We know why?
Yeah, there were tons of people in here, and then I got up to talk. Not tons, but there was a good group. I don't know. I didn't see who all was here, but there's
about 15, I think.
Right.
There's still.
There was like 4.
I think it was the subject matter, to be honest with you. I don't think it was you.
I have no idea. I have a lot of dislikers, but maybe that I'm being too myopic, whatever. I'm up for talking about whatever. What did you think about how you were treated today in Jack's room? I guess that's kind of a loaded question because it indicates that I don't think you were treated very well.
Well, did you see me over at OTWs afterwards?
No.
I attempted to go up and broach this subject that I wanted to talk about and try to put a bridge across the water, so to speak, with Jack.
Yeah.
And first thing Jack said, why do you let this guy up? I hate his guts. I want nothing to do with him.
Out of all the people he could hate, but.
I know. And I didn't take it negative. I didn't take it as a negative. I took it as I deserve what I got. Because I too, that's where this humble pie thing came from. I could see where I was being extremely harsh on him on certain subjects.
I did come in on that part when you had that confession
Okay.
that you said that. So I
Okay.
figured that you corrected yourself and that you had come from some kind of righteous, or at least,
Well,
I
it
don't
got to the point where I was going to prove I was right. Not that I was right. I'm going to prove to you that I'm right and you're wrong.
yeah.
And that was, I could see that all that was doing was just making the wedge bigger and bigger. But yet, like I said, I went up and he didn't accept a word of it. And that's on him. I tried. That's all I can do is try.
I would say you're not the only one who does that, who speaks to him that way. We all tell him pretty much, well, you could do things better this way, or you could do it that way, or whatever. So I'm not really sure why there's some special hatred for you, but I would definitely say, sorry, some people want help and some people don't. And whatever it is from you that triggers him, I think I would just, like, I used to want to help Snafu. And
I hear you.
yeah, because he obviously has some problems and he's sad and he's always sick. And anybody who's chronically ill can see that you can easily become bitter and start disliking people and start saying, you know what, to yourself, I'm going to die anyway, or this is effed anyway. So screw it. I don't have to make any friends. I don't have to treat people well. Going by that theory, I tried to sort of be nice to him in the way that a lot of people have. Forgive him for being the way he was because of what he's gone through. But then there's a time when people just, they don't want to, it doesn't matter who you are or how you are or what you say, they don't want anything from you for whatever reason.
Exactly. And he's just that miserable that
Yeah.
he can't acknowledge somebody that's trying to be nice to him. He bites the hand.
Yep, he does.
Oh Lord. Yeah, Snafu definitely in a class by itself.
I shouldn't have named names because then that causes drama, and I'm trying not to do that.
We're
but
not.
at the same time,
We're not spewing hatred. We're not screaming and talking. He's the great Satan of the empire. We're not doing none of that shit.
sometimes people
Nice.
just won't let you be nice to them,
Mm.
but you try to figure out why, and you don't know exactly why.
Paul. Oh, did I say that?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. So why is it that we, me, you, anybody here gets stuck on trying to please those people and trying to make amends or make friends or change the way that we are or the way that we talk just so that we can meet somewhere together where we're never going to meet?
To be-
It takes two.
To be accepted by them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And are we truly wanting to be accepted like that and be a phony? Or is that when we recoil and we strike back and we're like, ugh, this ain't who I am. Why am I doing this?
Yeah. Whenever you're kind of not being yourself, you either regret it or at the time you're like, wait a minute, why am I doing this? It feels weird or foreign or inauthentic somehow. But your body tells you, your mind and your body, it's just this gut feeling that you get,
Well, Cynthia was doing a show earlier,
I think she
Some-
still is, but
some cop
ahead.
watch show,
uh-huh.
but she invited me and Joe Cool up there. And I got caught up in my fifis immediately. And I kept having to drop myself out because I could see I was becoming this creature I didn't want to be. I was lashing back. I was making accusations against Joe.
I feel exactly
those-
like that when I spurg. I'm like, oh shit. oh shit, I'm letting my anger and frustrations and everything come out. And then it's hard to stop it. It's hard to, kudos to you, because it's hard to pull back and go, wait a minute.
Oh,
What am I?
hell yeah. I did that about 3 weeks ago in a Discord. I hadn't been in there in a while, and I was tired of the bullshit that was happening on the YouTube anyway. And I went in there and I just cut loose on everybody
Uh-oh.
for
Sounds like me.
no reason at all. And I had to go
Well, there
back
was a
in.
reason.
Yeah, but I went back in a week ago and apologized because I had no right taking out my gruff on them. They didn't do nothing to me. They were just handy.
Guilty. But you know what? People here, some people, have no problem triggering you or putting together a scorpion and a frog in a tank and watching them fight to the end because, get the popcorn, get the
Well,
cookie.
It's
It's
I'm the
interesting.
scorpion. That would make you the frog.
Yeah, but the frog outsmarted the scorpion in that story.
Oh, story of my life. Story of my life.
So,
But I don't understand it sometimes why we got this wonderful technology and we have to be something that we're not.
I don't
Is it
feel
be-
like I'm someone that I'm not, and people keep saying you have to be authentic here. Or I mean, you don't feel like you're you right now, right here and now, talking to me.
Yes, I do. 100% I do.
Same here.
At one point, I would have probably said no, but anymore I do because I try to keep myself in check. Because
When
I
I
could have been one of them Lindsay bashers real easy if I wanted to.
Oh, I got a whole crew. Cool.
You did,
Well, I know I have a lot of.
don't play coy.
What do you mean? Don't play coy.
You,
It's not exactly a compliment to have a bunch of people bashing you and hating on you. It's not like I'm going, oh, really?
you know what I'm talking about. The proverbial haters out there.
Yeah, we all have them to some extent or another. If you get up here on the panel, you have them.
Oh, for sure. And I still haven't. I'm still trying to forgive AJ the one night up here. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
if he was when he doxed me.
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Uh,
I know he said the
he,
N word repeatedly so that you would get in trouble.
that and a few other things. The small hat words and
Why?
the
Is he pissed at you?
because this is what I think. I think he pulled a Chuck. I think he let the stuff build up in him, and he just exploded on my channel. I think he could have been anybody's channel, and he would have exploded.
He does do that.
And I got no hate. I got no ill will. Even though we tried to explain to him, and he kept going against, after we explained to him about the words, as we say, 2 seconds later, he's using the words.
He's not dumb.
And
He's
then,
just angry.
and then he looks up my Cash App or my PayPal, one or two, and wants to spew my
Yeah.
personal information. I thought, what did I do to you? It's not like I'm trying to hide anything.
Well, you know what?
I just,
Not that that's okay, but I've been doxxed many times and nothing ever came of it one time. Nothing.
yeah, somebody doxed me quite a while back, my name and phone number, long time back, but nothing ever came of it.
No, nothing happened to me either. I've even had friends make assumptions based on my information and then start rumors based on what they thought was true. It's like,
Mm-hmm. Well,
what are
there
you
was
gonna do?
there was one fella that was in your corner that wasn't doing you any favors. I'll put it like that.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Kurt. Kurt.
Oh, yeah. He was always nice to me.
Yeah, but when you weren't around, and yeah, it went.
Oh, so he wasn't
Yeah,
nice when I wasn't around.
well, he was, but then he started becoming this, for lack of better words to call it, super simp. And he gets
Oh,
so yeah, and he was actually turning people as opposed to helping the situation. And I kept trying to explain to him, well, when I did that, then all of a sudden, because I was talking to him, trying to set him straight, if I was against him, I was against you. So therefore, I became an enemy. Does that make any sense?
yeah. Yeah, it
This
does.
is,
But it doesn't surprise me just because that's the way it goes here. And
yeah,
because
quite a while back.
person A doesn't like you, neither does person B, C, or D. Never mind that they weren't even involved. And they come at you like they've been known you for years and know exactly what the truth is. And yeah, you know what? I'm just going to end up I complaining and driving people away. And I know your stream is also for people who are kind of
Hey, if you got some,
recovering.
if you got to get something off your chest, get it off your chest. I don't give a shit. Fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Who?
I'm talking about anybody that's here.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, please, anybody, please get up here. I don't have to be like I don't have to be the guest, but I also don't want to leave Chuck hanging. He was talking himself for a while.
yeah, I'm starting to get a little rough in the voice there. I can feel it. So I do appreciate the company. But yeah, anything you want to talk about, as long as we're not getting in the dirt and being ugly, I don't care. You know what I
I
mean?
would just, sure, yeah, but I would just like to make sure that other people here feel like they can talk to and not hog up this screen. You know,
Well, I heard that. I'll post the link again. You're the only one other than Dom. I have to go get the link again. Why you want to be difficult? Because I can. Well, let's see if this worked this time.
Jeff and his dogs should get up here.
I like Jeff. He might be at work. He used to work nights all the time.
Oh,
Now he says he's working at one of them AI mega centers, and he
that
said
sounds good.
it's so. And it's surprising that he says it's so damn noisy in there you can't hear yourself think. I would have thought they would have been quiet, but he
One
said
thing about,
earlier that.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Excuse me.
No, go ahead.
One thing I was just going to talk about AI if you wanted to go there, but you never
That's
really
fine.
got to
That's
finish.
fine.
1, 2, check.
Yeah,
Well, I
go
was
ahead.
going to say AI has been proven scarily to be very wrong, and it does somewhat worry me that we're in a situation where we can rely too heavily on AI, and really it can become damaging. There's a case recently where an old lady had her face scanned at the airport, and it came up as a fraud alert and somebody who had been fraudulent and cashed checks under someone else's name, was on the FBI's crime list or something, like way down there or something. This little old lady. And so they arrest her at the airport and they jail her for a few days. And she's saying, that's not me. There's some mistake. Something happened. But the system, the AI system, kept coming up with, you know what, your likeness matches matches this woman who's on the wanted list, and we're not going to let you go. And you are a criminal, and as cute as you are, because you're an older lady, we're not letting you go, and we're not letting you go to your family and have the medications, et cetera, et cetera. True story. And so
I believe it.
So in time, it was proven, in time, after she spent a few days there, that AI made a mistake, and that was not, it scanned her face, but the person that it came up with was on the list, but it wasn't her. And so I kind of have this fear after hearing that story, especially. I'm glad that, it can be used to improve things and maybe cure diseases, or in a scientific way that'll help humanity, whatever. It's already helped engineers. It's already helped, facilitate work environments and make things easier. But on the other hand, holy cow, is this going to be an Orwellian thing too, with erroneous information passed on as the truth?
Well, what scares me worse
No.
is the amount of people that say, well, AI said, therefore I believe it.
Yeah.
They'll do an AI scan and say, this is the result, but I believe it because AI told me so.
Remember when Landry used to do the psychological profiles using AI, and they were like 70% effective, or 70% kind of like, it seemed like it was plausible, but the other 30, was completely wrong about the person.
And Joe, if you got a couple of minutes, please come up.
Yes, please.
I owe you an apology. But yeah, this AI thing, people taking it for just even, like I said, a simple AI search, but they're taking it for the gospel.
Yeah, and it is scary. Every technology is an advancement in a way, but no technology that we have is the magnum opus replacing people, in my opinion. It is not clear and concise and truthful and accurate enough to rely on solely. Can you imagine if AI were serving as president and it would take a look?
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, because
I was just getting something to eat, but someone said apology, so I'll hop up there.
Joe, I do want to apologize to you for earlier. That's why I kept dropping off.
I'm not remember you taking it. I didn't take offense to anything you said.
Okay, well, I thought I was being a bit of an asshole towards you.
Goodness.
And I didn't like it. That's why I kept dropping off, because I kept trying to regroup.
All right.
Because
I hope I didn't push you then. I hope I didn't push you.
No. And I used to be that asshole. I would have went into you with all fours.
You still are, Chuck. You still got it in you.
I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress, okay?
Me too.
And Linz, you owe me money. I got beat up again tonight over you.
No way.
How'd that happen?
I do owe you money. Thank you so much for having the bravery to stand up.
Chuck, you could give me that timestamp in this video that I missed and the timestamp, and we'll call it even, damn it, because it must have been pretty impressive, because, damn it, you got people up in arms.
I do?
No, Lindsay, the strip show that people are, everybody talking crazy about, like she, I don't know.
Somebody asked in the chat, I read it retroactively, and it said, I think it was Crab, that Crab guy, Rude Mud Crab or something like that. He's like,
yeah.
What kind of intelligence was it that you get half naked on camera or something? And I'm thinking, it doesn't take any intelligence at all. It doesn't, what it takes is fun. It takes balls. It takes not caring too much what other people think. It takes a
and
little.
hopping up and dancing and shit and all of
Yeah.
that bullshit. I
It
guess.
was
Yep.
crazy.
It helps to have a
fun.
body too, Joe.
Well, yeah, I don't see, and I would not discourage it. I got to see what the fuck they saw.
We were all having fun, and it was like kind of spur of the moment, whatever. And humping the chair is actually pretty funny, but
Wish I was there. That's all what I'm saying. Fucking
Now, was it
stupid
was
thing
it
to
the
be hated
first?
for.
Was it the first chair humping or the second chair humping?
Oh man, I'm gonna need a timestamp, man.
Was the first one happened on my show, and that one is private.
Well,
right
people
now.
were upset at the bikinis before that, and they
Which
were
one
upset.
got
about
Cynthia
whatever,
hot? That
so.
I mean, I'm already in my head. That was some sexy shit because she was hot. In my head, it's already some sexy shit.
Well, you had three of them that flows that night. You had Lindsay, you had Beth, and Verily.
All on the same night.
And Flo.
Yes.
Flo was humping the
Flo
chair
said
too.
too.
He had half the screen that I had, but I'm the one that gets hated.
Yes,
It's
that
just funny.
interesting, isn't it, man? That's interesting.
Whatever. Now, what's the big problem now? Why are people still all mad about it? Are they that bored?
I had to ask Flo for a refund though. That he called that a chair dance. That was weak.
I did see Verily. I think her name. Somebody replayed
God.
that. I thought she did well.
I was half naked. I had a top and a bottom on. She kind of had her whole love displayed all over
I
the
forgot. You're right. She had like a thong or something. Well,
And
there's
I'm
some ass out.
bad, salacious, lascivious whore of the internet. Come on. I'm not screwing anyone. I'm not
Oh,
ruining anyone.
come on. You know you are.
I
Come
am
on.
not.
Tell the truth.
I am not.
But if you ever want to slip up, Lindsay, I'm just saying.
I like to have a little fun.
If you ever want to get them back and be like, all right, I'm a
got
whore now. Damn it, yes.
I'm going to be a
Good
whore
call.
today.
That's what we used to do that, Joe. We go to Sex Anonymous meetings and wait outside for the relapsers to come out.
Oh, that's low down. I got balled up I would think it was a AA meeting. I was trying different meetings before I had got off of my program to see what I liked.
Mhm.
And I think they balled me out about hitting on women. I didn't know that was a thing. You could hit on people. Apparently, that's a big faux pas.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And you can't
They
even
call
look.
that the 13th step. Yeah, they frown upon that.
If you're in a relationship with anybody or even have, any kind of girlfriend or somebody you have a crush on, you're not allowed to look at other people or to say they're pretty or handsome or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think that sucks. My girl never got
I
over that.
made that mistake once or twice or three times.
And I'm spontaneous. I was like, in front of her, my girl, I'll be like, oh man, your hair is gorgeous. And she, it's just natural for me. And she take it as me trying to hit on somebody. But I'll be like, babe, when you're not with me, I do the same shit all day long, man. You're a nice dress, blah, blah, blah. It's just in me.
We were watching TV one night and I was drinking and we're watching something and the wife says, hey, so-and-so, which was her good friend. I said, yeah, I know so-and-so. And she says, would you fuck her?
You can't answer that.
That sounds like a setup, Joe. I'm so
Yeah.
worried
It was.
already. Yeah.
All you can
No
guess
way
is
out of that
I gave the wrong answer.
I'm not sure that's the right answer, bro.
I've gotten jealous by that stuff before, but yeah, there really is no right answer. And
Well,
everybody
I
has a little
said,
bit of insecurity.
sure I would.
Yeah.
That definitely ain't it, right?
No, that was the wrong thing to say.
Yes, it
I mean,
was.
why you ask me a loaded question if you didn't want the answer?
You want the truth or something you want to hear? Oh no, she's hideous. Wouldn't do her. Rosie O'Donnell is cuter than she is.
That's what she wanted to hear, but that ain't what she got. That ain't what she got.
I think what
stuck
she
my
wanted to hear
foot
is
in it.
that you loved her and that you find her incredibly sexy or hot or lovable, whatever, in her own way. But then she had to get that by causing a fight. Guilty. I've done that.
And the sad part was she got mad at her friend because I said it.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I learned to gauge my responses after that one. Sometimes it's not best to speak with a open mind.
Well, if
Was
you,
that out?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Can you imagine wanting the full 150% truth from your boyfriend or husband or loved one or girlfriend or partner, whatever you want to call them, and saying something like, you find me the most attractive, don't you? And I'm like one of the prettiest or hottest girls. You don't want the answer because you're not. You are
should
not
not
the most.
ask that. It seems dangerous asking
It
me the
is.
question.
It is. That person is choosing to be with you, but is Robert Redford in his 20s more handsome? Sure.
Right. A
go
guy
there?
would be okay with that. Shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Us chickies are weird. I admit it.
That's a fact. Oh, I'm just thinking about the many times I've stuck my foot in my mouth.
Hey, I'm warming up some dinner, man. I've been running around in there for
What's her
hours.
name? What's her name, Joe?
All right, if you guys on about 15 minutes or something, I'll hop back.
All right.
Otherwise,
Well, I
catch you
just
guys later.
wanted to apologize to you, sir.
You owe me no apology. I thought you did something I missed or something. No, man. That shit that we just did is just Tuesday. Don't worry about it.
All righty. Good deal.
All right, Pepper. Y'all be easy.
All right.
Okay. Well, I hope you come back, but if you don't, good night.
It depends if he smokes a bowl or not.
I've been considering that more and more. Chat.
I'm allergic to it.
Let's see. Who's in chat?
Oh.
I'm not looking.
Oh, shit. I see Hurricane, Peril, GT, and other than that, I couldn't tell you.
GT. Hello. I just
I'm
wanted
reading
to
that.
see if anybody had any questions for Chuck or to pause comments. And I wanted to be considerate and not hog up the panel.
Oh, I wonder if Joe wants kicked. There it goes. That was him. Them iPhones have more trouble than anything with StreamYard. But yeah, I mean, we can talk about anything and everything, or I could hang up. Don't matter to me. I'm flexible.
Okay.
I just want to clear the air with Joe. I just want to make sure he didn't take it too personal because I was getting pretty ugly.
He's taken a lot of crap on my behalf too. I got to thank him.
Yeah, I felt bad, so I just want to make sure he knew that I wasn't trying to kill him, so to speak.
I think that's important to apologize.
Do you know Mike Sharon?
Yeah, there's a rumor going around about him.
Yeah, you heard it too?
Yeah, the one where he's
not
in yeah.
And I haven't been able to get no confirmation yet, so
I think
I don't.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm curious, but yet I don't want to spread a false narrative.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
What I said to the person who asked me, and I don't know why they asked me except for the fact that I'm here too much, is, you know what? Since I don't know, and he likes to play bits or bit non-bits or whatever and joke around a lot, and he says all kinds of stuff that is outrageous just for effect on a regular basis.
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised if this is another one of those.
And it very well could be.
Mm-hmm. or other people just not liking him because he gives them reason not to, and then making up that
He can be an asshole. There's no doubt about that.
He likes to go into the rooms where black people are and shout the N-word and talk about how terrible they are, et cetera, et cetera. So he likes to do that trolling, hatey stuff and be shocking.
Blacks and gays was his forte. Yes.
You know what's funny about that?
Go ahead.
Occasionally I would pop in Gen X Jeff's room, and he is obviously gay. He says so all the time. It's no secret to anyone. And he doesn't like too many women to be in his room because he wants it to be a place where men can talk to each other without women. And I've seen him in there many times. In fact, one time I've seen him in there with his shirt off. So talking about being, if he's anti-gay, he sure doesn't have a good way of showing it,
I think he was playing Jeff. I hate to put it that way, but it appeared that he was playing Jeff.
Oh. Well, I go in there and I felt a little uncomfortable because I was the only one with my top on.
Well, I never went back after the last time Jeff banned me, strictly because I was on a Flow panel. I was guilt by association, and he banned me, cussed me out, and everything else. So he told me never come back, so I didn't go back.
I decided it's funny because you have guilt by proxy or some affiliation here, and whoever you're affiliated with becomes part of your tribe, whether you like it or not, and your clique. So I went to EBTs, or was it Totally Bull Earth, TBE.
There's TBE and EBT.
Yeah, because he can be funny. He's always drunk, so he's doing wild stuff. And I just thought, well, nobody else is open. I don't want to go to bed, so I'll go there. And he says, Lindsay, you are Troll's, you are Flow's slave. Why don't you go in there? And why don't you do this and that with Flow? And, you old leather-faced bag. Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, damn, all this secondhand hate from just going to Flows. I go to Flows because Flows is usually fun and we laugh and it's outrageous sometimes, but it shouldn't be like, well, you can't go hang out with these people because it's
like having the old scarlet letter on your chest,
Mm-hmm. Why don't you go fuck Flow? Get out of here, old bag. It's like, whoa. Calm down.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened to me, too, in a couple of spots.
And I got kicked out. Did you get kicked out?
You're one of Flow's bitches.
Yes.
Me? I'm a bitch?
Yeah. I got kicked out.
Yeah, they group, they lump everybody together, and it's guilt by association, whether you did anything or not.
You're an instant lover of everyone in that room. All of a sudden.
Yes. Yep. Oh,
it's not fun, but we keep coming back.
Flo hates this person, therefore you gotta hate them.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't even know the person. Why would I hate them? Because Flo does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flo's his own man. He don't think for me, and I don't think for him.
Well, a lot of people don't want any shit. They want to stay clean. They don't want to, take a side for anything. It's called Diplo, and I learned that from another chatter when I got mad at it.
Is that like mob mentality? Or no?
Diplo is acquiesce. Choose your battles carefully and acquiesce when your friends and others are being picked on or bullied, simply because it's really not worth the fight. So as long as you kind of stay safe and you kind of maneuver in between people and do what you want to do and like who you want to like, but you don't speak up for anybody and you just kind of behave and go along with the flow, then you're safe. And it's called dipping low. Dipping as low as the person that you criticize so that you can avoid criticism. There's something to be said for that is intelligent in a way. And there's something to be said for that is cowardly and safe in a way. And
Well,
if you
I've been
choose
accused recently of having a relationship with someone.
someone you don't really know you're having a relationship with, join the club.
You. I shit you not. I'm like, what in the fuck are you talking about?
That's news to
Oh.
us.
That's what I had to say. Well, shit, if I'm having a good time, fill me in, will you?
I've
Ooh.
heard so many things about myself that aren't true here. But that's what you get for being
Me
up there.
and you are thick as thieves.
We are
somehow.
making hot love day and night and calling each other 24/7.
That's
just
what they
didn't know.
was saying. And I'm like, okay, and how am I supposed to respond to this? What's
Tell
up,
me.
Rock?
Yeah.
Snow, Miss Snow, welcome. So I was just wondering if you knew anything about this secret
I never heard
relationship we were
I
having.
never heard it.
It must have been really good for you, huh? You can't even remember it?
So much I
Damn.
blacked out and don't remember.
What's that say for me then? Oh, I feel bad now. She doesn't remember me. I'm heartbroken.
I got a room full of people I didn't know saying, well, she really gets around. And I was like, how many people have I been around to? How many people on YouTube have I had sex with?
Oh, well, you got a certain individual we were talking about earlier to thank for that one. A while back. Spreading that bullshit. Talking about you were a pass around.
Oh, yeah, lots of people say that.
You got to be wore
I
out
just
by now.
constantly- Yeah, I am used and abused. I might as well had 12 babies because I am fully, I don't mean to be too graphic, but I must be hella stretched out. Wow.
Whew, 12 babies.
I can't
Damn.
get enough. I have affairs with everyone. If you want to ask me who I've liked, I can name people if you want to know the truth. I don't know why that would be so interesting to people. I don't know.
I think the made up stories is what's actually more interesting to them, if you catch my drift.
To me too. They're like, really? I'm finding new stuff out about myself on the daily. And I could go away. I could say, hey, you know what? I'm sick of that. I'm not going to be on here anymore. I'm not going to be on camera. I really have a strong feeling like I can take it. I can take the hate. I can take the lies. I can take the rumors. I can take the criticisms of my behavior and understand some of it where it's coming from. But if you think whoever you are, will destroy me or make me do something that I don't want to do, which is leave here and not have fun, fuck you, because you can't.
I remember there was an individual, I won't say his name. He's no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of asked me, he says, you and Lindsay, you guys aren't kind of together, are you?
Who asked that?
B.O. Oracle. Based or
strange.
I know.
I would never guess.
Yeah. I'm like, no.
Because you get along with someone doesn't mean you're bumping.
Fucking them. Exactly. But it's crazy the way that works.
It is crazy.
And I try to be hospitable to people, except there's the Thorpes. I can't stay on panel when they're there.
Seems like a lot of acting, a lot of kind of trying to instigate things for clout and to put it on their channel, trying to get something interesting or something they can put in
Yeah.
context. Look what Jack said, that kind of thing.
What's that?
They like this to say, hey, look what Jack said. It's clout.
Hmm.
It's taken out of context, but whoever it is, look at what Ruby said. Ruby said she didn't want to live any longer, and then she's dating a girl and this and that. It's like they take every fifth word, put it out of context, and it looks bad. And they make
up a story.
And that's what they do to Jack, I think. We're going to take Jack to so he'll make fun of himself. Fill in the blank. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever story you want to come up with. Oh, yeah. I know. I can remember when Snow was catching hell for a while. And I never did understand that one.
We've all had our turns. Snow was, and she was, I think a lot of women were attacking her.
Well, that's because she's Snow. I don't know how else to say it.
Well, I don't have a problem with her beauty. I think she's a nice person. I don't have a problem with anyone's beauty. Why does that seem to be a thing between women? We're not really competing for men here. We're just...
You're scraping the bottom of the barrel if you are.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah, but I think maybe some of the reasons why she was hated is because she's so pretty.
Yeah, I think that's why Snow catches the hate. I think that's why Sarah catches the hate. I think that's why you catch the hate. I heard people hating on Verily the other night.
It's fun.
It's
fun to hate on people, right? I mean, whatever. The assumption is that if you're halfway attractive, even if a lot of people don't think so, that you think you're hot shit. That's the assumption, and they need to bring you down and bring you down to earth, and you need to be squished because you think you're a hot shit. I guarantee most women, including the beautiful ones, do not think they're hot shit. They do not need to be brought down. They need people to be nice to them, just like everybody else needs that. It's ridiculous. Same with handsome men, They get hated on, or at least men perceived to be handsome by a lot of people. It will be endless. When I go into rooms, it will be like, you're a whore, whatever. It's mean stuff all the time. You are so ugly. People think you're pretty, but you're really ugly. You need to come down to earth and face facts.
The biggest one I heard was, you only mess with married men.
Yeah, Snafu started that.
What's that?
Snafu started that. I have never.
Oh, did he? Jesus.
I gave
him
that because 50. They think you need to be put in your place. They do that to Taylor too. But he really does think he's handsome. He really does have that confidence. But I guarantee you, most of the women don't. So they need to be.
I don't.
Yeah. Guess what? You're really ugly, and you're anorexic, and you're crazy, and you're schizoid, and you have a leather face and wrinkles, and you're too old for this. And what the fuck do you think you're doing? Who do you think you are? So, okay. There's a lot of people who don't do that, and they're very nice, and just appreciate those people. Thank goodness.
Like one night I ended up at Snafu's somehow. He was doing a show. And I gave him, I can't remember, it was $50 or $100 for his clutch. When he was crying about his clutch.
Yeah.
The very next night, he's talking about how old and decrepit and senile I am.
Uh-huh. I believe it.
I like, after you begging me for money, I give you money, and this is how you're going to treat somebody?
Unreal.
Damn. So he came back later on asking for some, and I told him no. I said, you got all you're getting from me. And then he started, well, Yeah, you're flow states boy. You're flow states boy. Said I ain't nobody boys but my own
Boy.
boy.
I'm my own
Thanks,
too. I hear you.
boys.
Boy.
This
You gotta
is
be
fucking
strong.
crazy.
Yeah. Who do you think you are? No one.
Oh,
Who the fuck do you think you are that you can be mean to people? You know?
you don't know who I am? Did you see my numbers?
I have greater numbers than you.
Therefore, I'm greater than you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm superior to you.
I'm sorry, but we're all down here sucking air at the bottom. I don't give a shit what they say.
You know what?
If you,
Maybe there is a thing to that. Maybe there are some people that are better than others for one reason or another. I'm starting to think that because the people who constantly have to put other people down and try to make them cry or feel bad about themselves or hate them for very stupid reasons and refuse to forgive, maybe those people are just a little bit below.
that's what I think. They're making it up for inadequacy in themselves.
Well, you know,
So if I,
all these people that hate both of us or hate other people on here, they also have problems and weaknesses and insecurities. But it sure
oh
feels
shit,
good to say, "Oh, you're crazy. You have the insecurity. You're fucked up." Now I feel great. I feel great.
I
Now, thanks.
made OTW about $150 today
Wow. By the hate?
by being bought
Yeah.
off the
I
panel.
saw a few people do that to you. Like I said, I was there for a short time. And the short time that I was there, you were let go for 10 minutes, kicked or whatever. They have fun doing it.
Yep. First time was 40 minutes,
Wow.
and then it 10 minutes. Then it was 20 minutes.
And you stayed there, right?
Yep. I didn't take it personal. I could have. I didn't whine, bitch, and cry and complain. The only thing I said to OTW in the back chat was, if you want super chat, it's hard to super chat when you're blocked in chat. It won't let you super chat.
Yeah. Yeah. You
And
can
I'm
still
like,
have. Oh, Rocky, I can't see you. Hi. I would have said hi. Now I hear you.
huh, Rocky, where?
Oh, I thought I heard Rocky's voice. Is it just me and you? And I'm not.
Yeah, it's just me and you, babe.
I thought you
Just
said
me
something.
and you.
I thought you said something earlier about Rocky, and I'm like, maybe I'm on the wrong tab and I can't see him in the live stream.
Damn. And they call me old?
You know what? I am too old for many things. Sometimes I'm too old for the way I behave. I'm not alone.
It took me a long time to grow up.
I will never grow up. That's the way it is. I will always be growing, but not grown up.
Trust me, someday you will. You'll be sitting in that rocking chair. Looking
I'm
at
gonna
the
be up
sun
in the
go
rocking
down.
chair.
You said it, not me. Video or didn't happen.
I like to laugh at myself.
Well, fuck, if you can't laugh at yourself, then you're in trouble. Now, used to I couldn't. How dare you laugh at me? I'll show you.
We all laugh at each other, make fun of each other, and sometimes it's truths. Sometimes it's like fingers pointing back. So what?
And it's good to escape from time to time, also.
Yes, it is.
Let your hair down, let loose, and just have fun and not
Not
worry
even
about
drunk while
anything.
you do it. You can do it sober too. You can go
Yeah.
nuts and crazy and have a great time and do things you're not supposed to do, which people do on the regular.
But even though you're catching flat, how many of those same guys are sitting there replaying that clip over and over? humping that chair.
I didn't even watch it. I didn't watch that whole thing except for Verily. I mean, I didn't see me doing anything. I was bloated on Chinese food. I didn't feel sexy, but I was having fun.
Well, if you were bloated, Flo was fat.
I felt better after he showed his stomach.
Woo. I saw that. I'm thinking, good Lord, he's going to eat them out of house and home on vacation.
And no, there is no intellect in that. There is no intelligence. There is nothing ingratiating or fabulous about that. But so what?
Did you have fun?
I did, and it was fun. It was fun.
Oh, then fuck them. Fuck them.
It might have looked horrible. I just don't care. A lot of people said, hey, you don't have any dignity. And I could see how they would say that and how it looks. I can fully understand that perspective.
Well, I felt kind of bad that one comment I made to Beth. I asked her if she was wearing a doily. You know what a doily is?
Yeah, it's like the thing you put on your table. And
Yeah.
why? What's bad about that?
That one swimsuit she put on had that lace, white lace on the front of it.
Oh, I don't even think she had a second thought about that. I thought she was really striking and pretty and having fun, and she's shy. It's not her usual.
Oh,
I understand
for
that.
sure. That
Yeah.
shocked me coming from her.
I know. Well, it's weird doing stuff on a camera in front of people. It's daunting. You have to pretend like they're not there. It's just what I do.
At least Flo didn't put on a thong. That's all I can say.
We were thonged out that day. You know what I really would have sincerely been embarrassed about? If I had given people the shot that Verily did, I would be extremely embarrassed.
I know exactly. You talking about the camel toe.
No, she was, oh gosh, I shouldn't talk about it. But
You talking
she's
about
not ashamed.
the front or the back?
Well, she bent over from the back and she was wearing it was a thong that turned into kind of a G-string and you could see everything. She's not apologizing. She's not.
I was talking about when she got up in front of the camera and pulled the front of it so tight that it went up the.
Oh, no.
You didn't see that part?
I was probably not interested.
I almost fell out my chair. I thought, oh Lord.
You liked it.
I'm thinking, here comes the strike. Here comes the strike. I'm glad I'm not restreaming. That's what I said to myself.
I didn't know that. I look at her and I think, okay, she's open with her body. I could judge that in all kinds of ways, say that she has some problems or maybe it needs attention in some way. The way I view her is she's intelligent, she's fun, she's funny, she's cool as fuck in chat. She likes music. She's a beautiful singer. I don't really care what she does with her body as an adult. I may not do that. I may be too shy or too whatever. But I still like her.
Yeah, I've known her for 5 or 6 years now.
I don't need to talk shit about her.
But that was kind of mild compared to what she used to do.
I don't know what to say. She's got guts. Maybe it's too much information. Maybe she's in the wrong place. Whatever. But I don't need to talk about it for.
She does.
5
She
months.
definitely has no.
Filter.
Yeah, there you go. I was trying to think of the right word.
Like it. A lot of guys, not some. To each their own. But so what? How is it going to affect your life? Flo likes it. It's Flo's channel. Blame Flo.
Yes, no. I remember when that was. Oh man, I was like, holy shit! This done got out of control.
It was wild.
I don't know what the proper terminology is. No, I'm old. Remember. I'm still using the words from back in the day. Chuck went straight in for the camel toe.
I would be too shy to do that too.
And she gave that little. She put her hand up next to her face and gave that little innocent
Oh, yeah,
like,
she went like that.
"Oh, did I? Yeah, did I do something?" It was hilarious. What do you want?
Huh?
Oh, I'm talking to my cat. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It's like, wow, rude, man. What do you want?
They get this way. Got a full-grown cat and 2 kittens, and they want me to protect them from each other.
We all do, Flo. I mean, Chuck, but we can't have him. You
Can't
can't.
have 3.
You can't expect anyone to protect you here. It's nice when they say something in your honor or they stand up for you in some way, shape, or form. But I'm very aware that you can't really expect anyone to do that. Just wanted to make that clear.
Snow says, I want to go replay it. I'm horrible. I wasn't even looking at all that. I think my mind is a bit more innocent than a lot of other people. For sure.
I wasn't looking at that either. I saw her go like this with her boobs or something and then go. I did not see the camel action, but Chuck, you're
It's there. It's there. Trust me, I might be old, but the eyes still work.
Guys would look there. I get it.
I'll guarantee everybody, men-wise, didn't miss it. I will guarantee it.
Well, you also have better eyes than me.
I said men.
I know, but you noticed it, and I was thinking, well, your eyesight's way better than mine, so maybe.
Well, when it jumps out at you, it's kind of hard not to recognize.
It was full screen at times. It's like, whoa, okay, I see where you shaved and didn't shave. Got it. All right. I don't know what.
Like I said, I'm just glad Flo didn't strip down.
Well, he did have the Buddha belly thing going, so I did feel better because I'm
But that thing he called a chair dance was pitiful that he did.
I saw flashes of boxer shorts or something like that, and like really close to the screen, and I'm just like, all right, if he, maybe he feels more comfortable having me there doing that, I'll do it. I'll make a fool of myself. He's doing it. Sue me.
Oh, Ben Thorpe did that one day. He got a dress shirt on. He's at the computer.
He took it up.
And he got up to go get something out of the other room, and all he had on was boxers. I'm like, dude, you even realize what you're doing?
I don't mind just boxers because I don't think that's anything like completely risque. It's the shorts, basically, to me. But I can see, I can see a point. But at the same time, why is he expecting to attract 20-year-olds? That's what I don't get.
He's delusional.
Yeah. Either that or he's kidding.
He thinks he's God's gift to women.
Yuck. You know what? That's mean. I shouldn't say that because people do that to me too. So I messed up. Sorry.
Oh well. You can have a redo. Every time you mess up, you got to do a chair dance.
I think people have had enough of my chair dance.
That show enough. That was enough for a year.
Too much for a year.
At least you wasn't like the one lady. I don't know if you was around then or not. That was on Flo's that peed in the driveway.
No, I didn't see that. But why? I heard about it. I heard that he dared her to do that first.
But she forgot to pull her pants down.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
he dared her to do that, right?
Not the first time. The second time he did.
Or someone dared her. I'm not really sure who she is.
Yeah,
dared her to drink pee or something, and she did.
He ended up with a strike over that one.
I don't think you should take advantage of people like that.
She was wasted.
Yeah.
She was wasted.
It's not right.
I felt bad for her, actually. Yeah, at first it was kind of funny that, oh, look, she pissed herself.
Yeah.
But then when she went out and did it the second time,
Some people like
intentionally,
that. I think it's funny and great, the exploitation, but I don't. I can't stand it.
yeah. And there's times, as much grief as they give Grace, I feel bad for her. Even though I realize half of it's self-inflicted, I still feel bad for her.
You're a product of your environment. I see when I hear her talking and listen to the words she uses and her perspective on things, I think Ben. That's Ben. That's Ben again. I think she would do well to move away from him, but I understand that money is an issue, so she can't exactly do that. But if she were on her own and had a chance to become more independent and have more express more of her own thoughts and develop more of her own opinions and have her own experiences without her dad piping in all the time, that she might be different.
I agree. Oh, I forgot about that. We was at Kev's. Is this Saturday night? Yeah, Friday night. We was at Kev's, and we introduced Miss Snow to butt plugs.
Did you just say what I think you said?
Yes, and she was like, "What are you guys talking about? Is that a real thing?" I started showing her. Said, "Yes, ma'am."
They introduced that to.
Snow.
Oh, okay. Well, Snow's an adult enough. I thought you meant to Ben's daughter.
No. I would never do that. Besides,
She's
I'm sure
23 or something like that. I think so. She's technically old enough too, but it's like if you want to learn about sexual stuff from the internet, you're going to get some ugly opinions.
Yes.
You're never going to want to have sex in your life
Oh,
if you get your
Not-
sex education from here. Okay, well, I'd rather be down and chat right now because I don't like to talk for long periods of time.
yeah, I hear you. I feel you. But if no one else is coming up, I'm going to call it a night
Okay.
because my throat is giving me a fit at the moment.
Oh, here comes the jokes about blowjobs.
Well, thank you for coming up, Miss Lindsay. At least we ended on a high note. All right, we'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah.
And everyone out there, no one's told you they love you today. I love you. Y'all have a good night.
I don't love you, anyone, but I can like some of you.
All righty. We'll see y'all later.
See you later.